Revenue growth, we all want it. So today I'm giving you my favorite strategies for how to increase revenue growth in your small business. I'm Amy Walker, Client Acquisition Specialist and your Sales Doc, where I am diagnosing your sales woes so that your sales can be sick in a very good way. And today we are talking all about how to increase revenue so that you can have more sustainable growth. I almost didn't want to do this video as a sales doc video because honestly, it could fit in the Like a Boss playlist as well, where we cover like your CEO strategies. But I will tell you that this is, I think, one of the most important topics that you need to look at. And it's about not just actually increasing sales, it's about increasing your sales strategy so that you can make that lift easier. There are hard ways to increase sales and there are easy ways to increase sales, and we want to move more towards those ones. I've got 5 strategies that I'm going to go over with you today, and by the end of this video, I think you're going to realize that like finding new customers is probably the hardest out of all of them, and the very last one just might blow your mind with how easy it could be to increase your overall revenue. Make sure you stay until the very end, like you don't want to miss it. The first strategy for increasing revenue is, of course, getting more new clients. That's what a lot of people think of, but if you've ever been in that point where you feel like you're constantly on the hunt for new clients, and you feel like your sales revenue depends on that ability to bring in a new deal every single month, that can be really tiring and it can be really stressful. And I get this because my consulting business is structured this way. And that is honestly the reason why I've opened up our agency side. Because with the consulting business, like we come in and we do a job for a set amount of time and then we've got to replace that client. And so there is always this element of being on the hunt for new clients, and we're always marketing, we're always selling, we're always bringing in leads. And with my agency side of my business, it's really nice because it's like we get a relationship and we just work with that client. And as long as we do a good job, we can keep that client literally forever. So when you're looking at finding new clients, that is one way to increase revenue, and we want to get really good at it. Because I will tell you that the better you get at marketing and selling, the less stressful it is. But I also want to look at some of the other strategies that could be simpler. So strategy number 2 is actually selling more to your existing customers. And we've done videos on this before in the past. So you can sell more to them by increasing the transaction size, like get a bigger sale. You can sell more to them by increasing the frequency with which they purchase. Both of those will help you get more from the people that you already have, which again drives up revenue, which yay, that's what we're trying to create here. The next strategy you can use to increase your revenue is actually to focus on customer retention and keep your customers for longer. So you can, increase the transaction size, like you're closing bigger deals, you can get them buying from you more frequently, and then you can focus on keeping them and retaining them for more years. That is actually why I added in the agency model for my business, because I wanted my clients to be able to get everything set up to the point when they're ready to go hire an agency, now they come and hire us and they get to just stay with us for more years. So what does that look like in your business? If you are looking at bringing in new clients, that's great. We have tons of content on marketing. We have tons of content on building your sales system. We love all of those things. But now when we're looking at selling more to your existing clients, how are we going to get them purchasing more often? How can we get bigger deals? And now, how do we keep them around for longer? This is going to require us to be more intentional with what their journey is so that they don't outgrow us and move on to someone else. Or this could happen like Apple, where you're re-releasing new versions of the same things that they've already bought, right? Like I think I'm on iPhone 14, maybe? I don't even know, but I've been buying iPhones for years. I've gone through several MacBooks. So when Apple is re-releasing new versions of the same thing I already know and like, I buy that new thing. So how can you take that principle and apply that into your own business so that your people are staying in your ecosystem instead of going and looking somewhere else? The next thing that you can do, and this is a hard one for so many people, but I think it's really important, and now more than ever, you need to raise your rates. And I've heard from so many small business owners, they're like, but I can't raise my rates. My clients are struggling. Like, they're tight for cash now because groceries are more expensive and gas is more expensive and mortgage prices are up and rent prices are up. For you too, right? Like, that's what I just want to say to everyone. I'm like, your grocery prices have gone up. You're having to pay more to the people on your team because their cost of living has gone up. Your gas is costing more. Your supplies are costing more. If you have not raised your rates in a while, you are overdue, and everybody is needing to raise rates right now. That's what inflation looks like. So you can increase your revenue by increasing your rates. And you probably need to increase your rates just to protect your profit margins of where they were at before. I do not recommend that you try to be the most expensive person in your space. I never want you to try to be the least expensive person in your place. That's the hardest place because you're constantly fighting to stay in it. Anybody can come along and undercut you within, moments, and maybe they're not going to be there for long because their prices aren't sustainable, but you can lose your customers to them, and your customers just price hop trying to find the best bargain. I like my clients to position themselves about 2/3 of the way in, because the majority, there's this mass of people in your industry who are all kind of priced in the same space, and you being a little bit above that will be a distinguisher and a differentiator. Now, if you're going to be more expensive than your competitors, you need to be better. You need to take better care of them. There needs to be something in your experience that is better. For example, I have a client who is an orthodontist down in Tampa, Florida. And I didn't know that Tampa had celebrities, but all the celebrities go to their orthodontic practice because they have the nicest building in town. They have VIP parking in the back where people don't have to come in through the front. If they're a celebrity, they can come in through the back and they can get privately escorted to a private room. They have VIP services that people are willing to pay more for. So even though it's the same process of getting Invisalign or braces, and the doctor's great, but the team are amazing at creating that experience to elevate it so that it's worth the additional price and people are willing to pay more for them than they are for the competition. Okay, we are to the last tip. This one's a doozy. And some of you, I'm telling you, when I tell this to people, a lot of times they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. Growing your business through acquisition can be one of the fastest and easiest strategies to increase your revenue. What that looks like is you're buying another company. And I have a client who is an accountant running $2-3 million a year accounting agency. And that's high. Most accountants don't do that much. And when I was like, so what did you do? When I very first met him, so what did you do to get your business to this point? He said, oh, I bought a bunch of other small accounting practices from these guys who were getting ready to retire. They weren't big businesses, they weren't worth much, but they had customers that were loyal. So I bought 10 of them. And he went out, and here's the thing that people don't realize is that type of a business is not worth very much. That person wants to retire, and they've probably been slowing down and kind of slowly running their business into the ground as they prepare for retirement. So by the time that you're buying that business, you're buying it for pennies on the dollar for what that business would have been worth in its prime. You can get a great deal. A lot of times you can get owner financing where you're paying them out over 3 years and you're doing it based off of the increase in revenue that you generated by just bringing in some new life and new enthusiasm. A lot of times those businesses can be bought with very little to no money out of your own pocket. And there's different ways to finance. So I just want you to think about it. If you wanted to grow to be let's say you're a $100,000 a year business. If you wanted to be $1 million, who could you buy that's already close to $1 million and now all of a sudden you're $1 million business, right? Or if you wanted to go from a $1 million to a $10 million business, could you buy a couple of businesses, put them together? I was just talking with a friend of mine who went out to lunch with one of his former colleagues who just bought 10 printing shops, and he bought them all individually, paid $2 million collectively, and then got a $10 million valuation for now all 10 of those businesses and sold it for 10. So bought it for 2, not using his own money, sold it for 10. That is a viable option for being able to grow your business and increase your revenues really quickly. So I've given you 5 different strategies for how to increase your revenue growth. Now, with this, I want to give you some parameters. When you increase revenue, particularly when you increase it rapidly, you have to increase structure and support to go along with it. Otherwise, you'll watch as companies, in fact, if you look up on the smallbusiness.gov and they tell you the most common reasons why businesses go out of business, one of them is that they grew too fast, right? Which you think, how could that be possible? Like, more sales is always great. Not really, not if you can't actually build the infrastructure to keep up with it. So before I launched Amy Walker Consulting, I was running the sales team for a mentoring company. They did workshops and a lot of personal development. They just did really great work. And we grew really rapidly. So the first year before I was there, they had done about 250,000 in sales. First year I was there, we did $500,000. The second year we did $1 million. The third year we did $2 million. So it was really rapid growth. And what I will tell you, this was the big lesson that I learned from that dramatic increase in revenue, was we were rebuilding systems over and over and over again, because we were consistently building a system that worked for where we were at right then, and then we would outgrow it. So when you are wanting to rapidly increase revenue, I would recommend that you think as far beyond as you can possibly think and go, if we were a $2 million business, what would the systems and structure be that we would need to support this? Start hiring towards that. Start making the moves towards that. Start letting that be your guiding standpoint, because I truly believe that one of the reasons why people struggle to grow revenue is because they are so focused on the limitations of where they're at today that they're not creating the people, the systems, the structure, or the vision that is going to allow them to be able to grow revenue. So out of the 5 strategies that I have shared with you today, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which one feels like it is the right solution for your business at this point in time? Is it getting new clients through focusing on marketing and sales efforts? Is it selling more to your existing customers? Is it customer retention and keeping your clients for longer? Is it raising your rates and your pricing? Or are you thinking about acquiring a new business and wanting to learn how to do that? If you do, actually send me a message. I have a partner who specializes in helping people learn how to buy businesses with little to no money out of pocket. All right, my friends, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you are looking for more tips and strategies around your sales, I would invite you to go and download my free sales book. It's called the I'm Not a Salesperson Sales Book, Sell Like a Natural, Even If You're Not. And you can go get that for free. We'll put the link down below. So now you know how to increase revenue. The next video that I want you to watch is how to scale your sales. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about how to build a really robust sales system and process. And I cannot wait to see you over there. If these tips are helpful for you and you're getting some great ideas for how to grow your revenue, make sure that you like the video and then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so that you will know when our new releases come out every week. Thanks, everyone.